Hey folks, welcome back to Gaming Garbage, where we take a look at games, chat about the gaming news, the industry, and of course, stream for fun. Today I'm doing something a little different. I used to do these quite a while ago, and but like they took so long, and they were also really, really long, where I was just talking about gaming news for the week. And I'm probably not going to do it weekly, and they're also not going to be as long. They're not going to be jam packed, but they honestly just take too long for me to make for the amount of views that I was getting. And then also, time is also very, very busy right now. I have the birth of my third child coming pretty quickly, and yeah, so things are going to be busy. But yeah, I still have a call from some of you that actually still kind of want this in a way to come back. So it's just going to be some of the bigger stories that I'll talk about, and these will come out kind of at I don't know. I'll figure out an interval, but not likely weekly. Uh, but it's really just to update you guys on actual games. So we'll just start off with Warner Brother Games working on another live service game that's going to focus on DC Comics. And remember, they've already lost $300 million off of Multiverse, which they had to unlaunch, and then relaunch didn't go well, and so then they shut that down anyway. So that was $100 million. And then also Suicide Squad killed the Justice League. That was also roughly another $200 million loss. And again, the focus was these live service games, but man, they were absolutely horrible. And yeah, this is just not necessarily boding well. And oh yeah, another one was Harry Potter Quidditch Champions, which that should have just been plugged right in with Hogwarts Legacy, but again, they didn't do that either. They thought they could basically get more money from you. And now, when you actually go, at least on some stores, they actually bundle Hogwarts Legacy and Quidditch Champions. But yeah, Quidditch Champions is not the type of game that we were hoping for. It's definitely not at the same quality as it used to be. So, but yeah, now we're focusing on another live service game, and this is not great. This is not great. Now, they did cancel Wonder Woman. That was not going to be a live service game. Warner Brothers actually confirmed that. But yeah, again, the game was not going overly very well. And so, yeah, eventually they just shut it down. And they shut down Monolith Studios as well. But yeah, they're still focused on this kind of live service gambit, which I think is frustrating. To me, live service is just kind of a groaner and a bad word at this point. And but yeah, they do have a job posting here saying that the individual needs to stay informed on industry trends and player expectations to keep the game competitive and relevant. And again, I just feel like these big companies are tone deaf, because it's like, we don't necessarily want live service. Like, live service is, I know what they want, because right, it can pull in the money, but like since 2020 we have had so many failed live service games, and a lot of them don't even exist anymore. So all of the money you put in, the price of the game for some of these now, because free to play model is just not bringing in enough money to start. So yeah, now they're making you pay for it, $30-$40. Some of these two are coupled with different things, and they're like a $60 or $70 price tag with live service elements in there. Okay, like Call of Duty, like Battlefield 6 is going to be. And yeah, it's just frustrating, because it's like these live service elements really change the game design, make it grindy on purpose, and it just sucks. And this is, I guess, going to be done by, I think it was Montreal, which again, they made Gotham Knights, which did not go very well. I tested that myself. It was awful, and it was frustrating. I guess that was actually supposed to be supposedly kind of like a live service game, but they changed it. That was, I think, in 2022. And then we had Suicide Squad by Montreal, and again, that was just not not good. Incredibly frustrating. Man, I couldn't even get through the tutorial, really. That was just, again, not what we wanted. But again, these games are designed to be more casual. They're designed to have simplified mechanics, nothing really groundbreaking or amazing. And then, yeah, Suicide Squad also had just repeated boss fights, too. Just super cheesy, super weak on the creative side of stuff. And then at the end, they're like, oh, yeah, wink, wink, people actually aren't dead. Just kidding. Except for Wonder Woman. She actually died for real. So, yeah, again, they're just they're just focusing on making another one. We'll find out more about the game in the future. But again, this does not give me a ton of hope. And I want to take a look too, is that, under Warner Brothers was also Hogwarts Legacy, like I mentioned. And Hogwarts Legacy, it's confirmed to be in development. It's also going to be tied with an HBO series. And it's going to have to tie in some of that series into the game. And something, too, that's becoming more common, especially with like Warner Brothers or Sony, ones that have like a type of like skin in the game in the movie industry as well as video games, is they want to tie and link stuff together because they basically think that they can get them to feed off of each other. And some things, when they're made to be good and designed for what they are, and again, the focus is the experience for the player, not just money. You can get something like Minecraft and the movie can do really, really well. Okay, same with Super Mario Brothers, but like they don't understand that they need to craft these IPs over time, not just over a few years, and really create an entire world and lore with stuff. And then you can do the movie. Then you can do the cartoon, the animated series, the plushies, the action figures, the Legos, whatever. Okay, then you can make that stuff. But like what they don't understand with some of these older IPs, including Harry Potter, is like they're decades old, right? They've already been established, right? And so yeah, you can't make an established IP overnight, and they don't seem to understand that. But hey, since Hogwarts Legacy did super well, they want to make number two. And yeah, it sold over 30 million copies, and it should, because it was a really well done game by Avalanche. Now we're getting a sequel because everything else failed at Warner Brothers. and Hogwarts Legacy wasn't supposed to be a series. It's just supposed to be a standalone game, not even really with any DLC or anything. They're like, nope, this is what the game is. It's over. We're not going to be making anything else. And then Warner Brothers is like, frick, yes, you are. You made $1 billion. Go make another $1 billion. And so I highly doubt it is, because we're getting some potential leaks now. This was in June, as we're looking at some words that are showing up with the leaks of like multiplayer and possibly live service elements to it. And again, this does not bode a lot of confidence to me personally. And I'm always just kind of a critic anyway, because I want the industries and these companies to prove that to me that their product is good. Okay, marketing is supposed to like completely shut your brain off and get you excited, and I understand that, and that's why I keep my channel going. It's partly to protect you guys, to let you guys know what the information is, and that's why I want to do the Battlefield beta as well, and I will share that with you all later this weekend. But the sequel, I don't know. It's just Warner Brother Games, in my opinion, is just going the wrong way on a lot of this stuff, and they're looking for a big hit because again, they can make a ton of money. I think the anniversary of Fortnite was like $1 billion, which was crazy, right? Apex has also made a lot of money, and so does Call of Duty. So does some of these other games like World of Warcraft when it was good, League of Legends, etc., Roblox. But again, it's like they're some of these games like Fortnite and Roblox and Minecraft, they've turned into a platform on their own, and content can be created, and that's what can actually keep the game going. And I think we're going to see more of that. Bethesda is doing that more. Looks like we're actually going to start getting maybe paid mods for Fallout 4. We know that we already have this with Starfield and Skyrim. And yeah, I don't know. It's going to be interesting what the future looks like. EA even has some plans for some later player content and whatever. Probably in the 2030s when they work out the bugs, or at least they think they work them out. But yeah, we'll have to see what happens. But yeah, when that starts shaping up a little more, I'll make a video on that. Next thing I wanted to talk about was Bioshock. So this has been a really, really good IP. The world is fun. Okay, playing the games today are kind of clanky or are kind of messy. There's a level of difficulty there out of frustration than actual challenge to some degree. But again, the worlds are fun, the idea is fun, and the presentation is really, really good. Because again, they're all made by one particular guy. But new report shows now that Bioshock Remake with publisher 2K has now actually been canceled. And then Bioshock 4 is struggling. So let's dig into this a little bit. Let's see. Apparently, the 2K executives are unhappy with the story, which was kind of surprising. And because of this review, Kelly Gilmore has actually been removed from her role at Cloud Chamber that's working on the game. And someone else has replaced her already. And LaPlante. And yeah, they were serving as the creative director, and now they're serving a publishing role, basically to make sure that the game comes out well. And 2K has also said that the studio also needs to become more agile and efficient, which we've seen and heard these words before. So they're kind of worried about layoffs. And again, it's been a while. It was slow production. Okay, slow production costs a lot more money. Maybe they're even starting to go over budget. I don't know. I'm just guessing. But Bioshock 4 as a game is good, and the publisher is committed to delivering a great game. But currently, they're working closely with Cloud Chamber leadership to actually achieve this goal. It's like, well, you're not working closely; you're just replacing it to a degree because, again, you're not liking the results that you're seeing. And this is from Infinite. Again, some of the world ideas are just really, really cool, and we even got to see a little bit of this inspired with Atomic Heart. They were inspired from Bioshock, and that is actually a pretty fun game if you can get through it initially. It's kind of got that learning curve. But anyway, yeah, Bioshock is just not really in a good place right now. And that's a bummer. And we still have the remaster collection if you're interested in that. That's still out there. And every once in a while it goes on sale on basically all of the storefronts, and that gives you 1, 2, and 3. And I think it comes to with all of the DLC. But again, those have been out there for a while. And I think if they can do a good job, they can, have a good idea with Bioshock. But, something again that does worry me is removing the creative role of overseeing the story, and the publishers again didn't like it. And a lot of times lately too, we've seen the publishers just get in the way of actually making something great. And I wonder if that's what's happening again here. They're like, nope, we don't like that story, or that's going to be too whatever. Because usually it's game design. Usually they're like, yeah, let's make a live service. Yeah, but it's like it's the story. So I'm not entirely sure what's going on. And following up with Bioshock as a story is, and continuing some aspect of that, or some, in the same universe, I think that's going to be challenging in and of itself. Because now the guy that worked on Bioshock basically is working on Judas. But the thing that's weird with Judas is we haven't heard anything on that game either. I mean, we're over halfway now through 2025. I think we first heard about it, I want to say, in 2023. Maybe even 2022, toward the end there. And again, it's like we haven't heard anything. So I don't think that project's going well either. And that's just kind of a bummer. Let's talk about Skull and Bones a little bit. Again, a game I don't really care for. I played 2 of the closed betas, played the trial, and man, am I frustrated with that game. But it's got a delay again. And this was kind of like some in-game content they're working on called Faction Wars, but it's pausing work also on some other key content. So they're delaying the seasons. And yeah, it's just kind of turning into a train wreck. And in my opinion, it's been a train wreck for a while. But yeah, it's just not particularly looking good. But yeah, while originally planned to launch as part of a mid-season update, Faction Wars won't be coming in year 2 of Season 2, allowing us more time to polish the feature and deliver when it's truly ready. So again, they don't even have a time of when it's going to be ready. They just want to, say when it's ready. They want to push it out. And yeah, again, that's just not boding very well. So Season 2 is going to be lengthened by a week, probably even more. And then they're also cutting some major key features that were planned for Season 3 and 4. And then they're going to update the roadmap of what things are going to look like. So it really looks like a train wreck right now with Skull and Bones. In my opinion, it's never really done well. If we take a look at Skull and Bones on Steam, it's never hit high numbers. Because again, what they did is they allowed, and this is since launch, folks. This is as far back as we can go. But yeah, basically they gave a trial. A lot of people were able to try it, and it's just like, yep, this is not the type of game that I want. So now there's rumors that have been coming out, and it sounds like it's more confirmed now than ever, with some other rumors and some takes from somebody from Kenway, actually the actor that played Kenway, and basically he says he can't talk about it. So yeah, there's something there. So yeah, we're probably getting a Black Flag remake. My guess is at the end of this year, and because yeah, that's the kind of pirate game that we want. Again, that's the kind of pirate game we were expecting, and they didn't give it to us, and it just blows my mind. Can I just be frank? It blows my mind how stupid these companies are, and how a lot of these creative directors are to a degree, of like they can't make, even if the blueprint is there, they can't make a game or they can't make a movie similar to the older stuff. And I really just think there's a level of talent and expertise that has completely left all of the industries in the world with all of the retirements that we had globally during COVID. And the newer generations are coming in. They've had different experiences growing up. They really haven't had hard times either, like some of the previous generations. And so they just don't have anything to pull from. And, that kind of sucks. So they just can't make anything. And then too, live services kind of gets in the way. And then we have games like Skull and Bones, for Pete's sakes. It's just awful. Or like Splitgate as well. So the CEO of Splitgate came out for Summer Game Fest and was like, hey, make games great again, while pissing on COD for microtransactions. And then the microtransactions in Splitgate 2 are insane. I mean, we're talking like 30 whatever dollars or 20 whatever dollars just to change the color of your portal, for Pete's sakes. And yeah, things are not going well. And two, the guy was like, no, I'm not going to apologize. And then he's like, oh, yeah, never mind. I will apologize for what I said on stage, for making it political. And so, yeah, the whole thing is just entirely backfired for the studio. And so, yeah, they're shutting down the original Splitgate in roughly a month. And then they've also had layoffs, which is roughly 45 more staff are going to be laid off. And Splitgate 2 is unlaunched. So, yeah, unreleased Splitgate 2, which has been launched in June. We're going back to beta. And let's see, we're heading down. Our heads are down. Let's see. It's broken up. Forgive me, folks. Anyway, heads down until early next year, rebuilding major parts of the game. Major parts of the game. How are you going to do that with less staff? So I think they're really financially in trouble, and they don't have a choice. And so they're going to have to rebuild major parts of the game with less people. And again, I really don't think that's just really going to go well. And yeah, we're also going to shut down the original Splitgate servers in a month. We'd love to keep online indefinitely, but it costs us hundreds of thousands of dollars over the past couple of years just to keep them on, and we have to prioritize our team while still laying off people. So yeah, they say they're doing it just to save some cost wherever they can, just to keep as many people as they can. So yeah, things are really not looking good. So yeah, good luck. Good luck, folks. Because yeah, I really think the player base, just gamers and players in general, they don't have time for BS anymore. They're really just ready to just have good games that launch, that focus on the players, not focus on corporate greed, not trying to have hyperbole and all of this other stuff and hubris. It's like, look, just check all of that at the door and just give us fun games. Like Wu Chang, it takes a while to get into, but I'm actually having a blast with that game. But holy cow, is it incredibly difficult with the point that I'm at. Definitely had a difficulty spike. When I'm finished, I will have a full review of the game. So look for that later this year. But yeah, we also take a look at Splitgate. And again, this was launch. And that's it. Not a ton of players. And every day dropped off real quick. And now there's nobody. So yeah, we basically got down to like 1,000 people. That's crazy. Get some water here. So yeah, it's not great. And again, it's just another live service game that's just going down in flames. We have another one, Dying Like the Beast, has been pushed back for more polish, but it's not as bad as it sounds. So they're pushing it back a month. Again, release date now is September 19th. And they say that they just want to apply more polish to the game. And, they had 150 previews from publishers and from content creators, and the response was universally positive. They feel like, they're making a very special, fun game, an outstanding game in 2025, absolute blast, nail biting horror survival horror. Excuse me. I have dyslexia. Don't catch it, folks. And Project with a Soul. I mean, I hope so. The last one, in my opinion, was really bad. But yeah, they want to fine tune, balance with gameplay elements, look into the clarity of the UI, increasing the quality of the physics, as well as tweaking cutscenes and player animations, as well as adding last minute details. So yeah, they hope to do all of that in about a month. That's really not a lot of time at all. And also, they're not planning to have any layoffs whatsoever. This is just, again, delaying it a month, and which will probably cost them a few $1,000,000. And then they'll launch the game in September. And so yeah, we'll see we'll see how that works out. Hopefully it actually works out well. Because again, basically games that have delays, a lot of them really don't turn out well, and it's like, wow, it was worse. It would have been a lot worse if it didn't have a delay. But again, this is not a huge one. Usually, the really big delays aren't boding well. And man, this game should have been delayed. I said that. Ryan and I actually said that with the beta with Monster Hunter Wilds, but man, this is brutal. And again, on the channel, I really try to just present things as they are, to tell you what I'm seeing, so that you guys can make informed decisions, not just some of you scream at me and complain because I'm attacking your video game or whatever. Gal, for those of you that did that, get a life, my word. But anyway. Here's the truth. Review score is below 50%. It's around the current review score for Wu Chang, actually, because the performance issues are so bad. And again, the performance issues for Monster Hunter Wilds is also really, really bad. And the player count has really fallen off really, really quickly. And again, this is just not the type of game that we wanted. And I made a video, if you're interested, on Capcom changing their game design, maybe from here on out. And it's concerning for me. We've seen this with other IPs, with other publishers, and I feel like Capcom is doing the same thing. And maybe, too, they just need a different engine for Monster Hunter Wilds, because they're using the Resident Evil engine, which is not designed for an open world, and they're trying to use that engine for open world. And this game, it still looks like hot garbage and runs like hot garbage for a lot of people. And if it doesn't for you, hey, that's wonderful. I'm glad that's not a problem for you. But for a lot of people, it's a big problem. And we got to see that in the beta. I complained about it then, and people are like, oh, nope, that's just old stuff. And then when it launched, it was still hot garbage, and there were crashes and other problems. And yeah, this is just where the state of the game is. It's dead. It's basically done. There's still a few people that are playing it, but again, it doesn't even show up on PSN time tracker anymore. It's not even close to one of the top played games on Xbox. It's not there. It's just been forgotten, and this is even with some pretty big updates. So we had a really big one at the end of June, and quite a few players came back. But boy, even just days later, it fell off very, very quickly. And by the end of the week, we were about a third of where the player counts were. Another update, and again, just it's so quick. But yeah, even with the really big update with extra monsters and stuff, we only had a 10% actually come back to play, which is concerning because it was actually pretty big. So, I mean, we got new monsters. There's 3 of them. There was one that happened in July already, July 22nd, and we had new weapons. We had new armor sets, new skills. new set bonuses, new talismans, new palico gear, new features and events. And I mean, all of this stuff. This was a huge update, right, folks? This was massive. You know, they even added bikinis in the game to keep player retention. But again, it's not working. It's not working, and it's just really sad because Monster Hunter is a really, really big IP. But man, they better be careful. Capcom better be careful because if they're just going to continue to casualize the game to take away from what the experience is, and I feel like they just completely missed the point. Again, it wasn't the story. The focus again was the experience and you grinding through that and working to get your gear and to get your achievements and to take down the monsters. And it's like, this is not the same. This is not better. And what's crazy, I should have pulled this up before, but what's crazy is that the player counts for Monster Hunter Worlds are at like 14,000 as of yesterday for a peak, which is kind of nuts. Like, players are kind of going back to that. Or they're just playing something else entirely. So yeah, Capcom better be careful because yeah, this game sold 10 million, 11 million copies, but I doubt the next one will. Because again, people are going to remember this. And again, people remembered what Iceborne was. People remembered what Rise was. People remembered what Monster Hunter World was, right? And that's why they bought this. But after playing it, all of the marketing was BS, right? It was not representative with what players were expecting, and that's why they quit. You know, that's why the review score is what it is. And again, they just screwed players. They knew it wasn't ready. They pushed it out anyway, and Capcom wanted to see some money before the end of the quarter. So they got your money, but boy, they damaged their reputation in the process. So yeah, we'll see what happens with the next one. Last thing I wanted to talk about was Destiny 2. And yeah, I really think the game is just completely done. And which is kind of insane. So this was Lightfall. This was the really bad one that a lot of people were frustrated with. And Lightfall actually had a few less players than the Final Shape did, which was right here. But then again, it's like we kind of had this. Man, that is really detailed. Holy smokes! Can I get the last 2 years? Here we go. This is a little less busy, but anyway, we had a really good, for a couple of months, and kind of like this steady fall off, right? And then we had the spike for the Final Shape, and then people were either done pretty quickly or just didn't care anymore. And man, that drop off is like immediate, and then it's just kind of stayed flat. Now, this is the next kind of big update for the changes of Destiny, and the roadmap for Destiny 2 and how they're going to do content and stuff has been constantly kind of changing. And even the Final Shape was delayed, I think, for like 4 months or something. And a lot of people did like it, feel like it was a good conclusion. But again, the key word there is conclusion to the story. And we know, too, that they're not really focusing on Destiny 2 anymore as a studio. Bungie is focusing on Marathon, which I just made a video about with an insider. Thank you for that, by the way. But yeah, how frustrating players are. And this was the next big DLC, The Edge of Fate. And again, that's how it went. That's how it went over. It's just a lot of players did not come back. And yeah, this is not good. And then again, the drop off was very, very quick. And so yeah, a few days, folks were playing, and then it's fallen off pretty quick. It's cut in half, roughly. And there's been a little bit coming back on Tuesday. Actually, quite a few people coming back on Tuesday. So yeah, maybe people are going to hang on for a bit. We'll see. But again, that is just a pretty quick drop off. And there's a lot of content out there talking about how they didn't really like this one. They have quite a bit of critiques on where the game is going. But again, it's like the game just doesn't feel like it has a soul anymore. Ever since the Eververse, ever since pushing more content, ever since sunsetting stuff, taking away things that players want to keep, and not re-implementing things unless it's actually paid again, which is ridiculous. And even continuing to sell things on the store that you can't even get anymore, which is stupid, like armor sets and all of this kind of stuff. And they just completely rechanged everything again with the Edge of Fate. And yeah, if you just want something to grind, Destiny 2 is great. But yeah, what Destiny 2 used to be is has just been changing over time, and that's why I basically quit at the end of 2020 because I could just see what they were doing, and yeah, I didn't want to get sucked in. I didn't want to waste my time or money. So, but yeah, listening to players that have spent thousands or even tens of thousands of dollars into Destiny now since 2017, and this is where it's at. Man, they're pissed. They are pissed. So yeah, just be careful out there, folks, because regardless of how you feel about things or what's going on, with these live service games, maybe that's just kind of the theme today. With a lot of these live service games, you gotta be careful with what they're doing and what they're implementing. And again, these publishers, they ultimately have control, and they're going to shove out what they want to shove out. And this is why too I'm leery about like what Battlefield 6 is going to be, because Star Wars Battlefront 2 by EA was a wonderful game, but they mucked it all up with live service, and it literally killed the game. So it's had a resurgence since, because again, they're not focused on live service anymore for that game. It's just a game, and people are loving it. It's had quite the resurgence. Actually, let's just take a look real quick. Yeah, let's just take a quick look. There it is. Boop. Yeah, so it had its time in the sun, right? People were talking about it, but yeah, just look at those spikes. Like the growth that it had was pretty insane, and now it's just kind of slowly trailing off now. But I mean, this was some of the highest it ever had. Isn't that insane? I mean, it blows my mind. Yeah. So again, games can be good, and developers, they can bust their A trying to make something great. But again, if the publisher wants to implement stuff that's just going to muck it up, the work really doesn't matter at the end of the day. Because I think it's insane. It's like we take a look at the last 5 years, and this is the way the launch was. And then it's like, oh yeah, wow, loot boxes, meow, and this game fell off so hard. I had friends I was playing with too, and they're like, yeah, no, I'm done. And even with the game today, you can tell it was just made and designed for live service, and that's why live service is becoming a bad word. That's why I personally don't like live service. I don't like microtransactions. I don't buy them either. And I think the last microtransaction I technically bought was like in Ghost Recon Wildlands, which was like 2018. Been a long time. And like I play COD and I play some of these other games that are live service, but yeah, again, I don't buy anything. Because I just don't believe in that business model. And I don't think it makes anything better. And we can, you know, we can kind of see why. Because yeah, when you live service a game and that's the focus, things just go downhill from there most of the time. Now, Helldivers is coming out on Xbox. I'm going to be taking a look at that. That's when the live service is actually done well, where it's made as a game, and then the live service is an addition to it. And I think that's great. I think that's when it can work really, really well. But again, they don't design these games that way. So, but yeah, we got a lot coming up this month. We have Black Myth Wukong, Wu Chang, when I can finish it. Black Myth Wukong as well when I can finish that one. And I'm just going to be playing Dark Souls games for a while. And then, yeah, we also have Helldivers 2 at the end of the month, the Battlefield beta I'm going to be taking a look at this month. And then, man, wasn't there something else? Oh, yeah, Metal Gear Solid Delta, that's coming out. Oh, man, I'm so excited for this game. And then we also have September 5th, we also have Chronos, the New Dawn. So thank you guys for voting in January for the game that you wanted me to review this year. And Chronos won. And so that's the game I'm going to be reviewing. I'm going to be doing an initial look for it, and then also a final review for the game when I beat it, whenever I can get that done. And then, yeah, next year in January, you guys are going to be able to vote again. So hopefully a lot of you guys will actually turn out. I got a lot more subscribers since then, which is crazy. We're over 500 now. That's pretty amazing. So thank you all for just your engagement and tuning in and stuff. And yeah, thanks for just helping make the channel what it is. And with that, folks, I'll see you guys on the next one.